And Laura starts giggling.
Hey, Laura here again. I'm back. One thing that I thought a bit about recently is that it seems like there's a lot of talk about millennials. Marketers targeting millennials, politicians appealing to millennials, millennials talking about millennials. But in an awful lot of stuff I've read and watched concerning my age group, the same phrases seem to keep appearing. Lazy, entitled, narcissistic, apathetic, visionless, and fantasy-driven. It started to make me really mad. I mean, how can all this be true? These vices gotta be present in every person, and I certainly don't think they're particularly concentrated in me and my peers. Also, generalizations about enormous demographics are silly. It's like saying all blondes are stupid. Don't you dare. You'll find plenty of inspired and dedicated young people if you bother to look. For example, the thousands of young people who attend the Justice Conference because they care about the vulnerable and oppressed, or who volunteer for the Peace Corps instead of going to college, or who build for Habitat for Humanity, or who work in your local food pantry, or lots of other things I can think of. Another thing, you can't bring back the good old days. Forget about it. Globalization has changed the way the world works. There are not enough good jobs for many of us to establish ourselves at the same economic level as the previous generations. There's a reason that Bernie Sanders' campaign has had so much traction with young people, and from what I've heard from friends and acquaintances, is that it's hard to make a go of it on your own, much less taking care of a family. So if young people aren't doing what you were doing when you were young, maybe take that into consideration. Another thing, I'm not confident any politician is going to be able to fix these problems because they're not simply national problems, they're global. I mean, look at most of Europe. That's a reality our generation is going to have to live with and work with going forward. But enough on that. A great way for us young people to change the narrative is to start writing a different story. And here's a story for you. In this story, the mythical millennials wake up to the limits of individualism and turn to community. The poet John Donne famously wrote, "No man is an island entire of itself." And there's a song based on that stanza, which I might sing for you another time, but don't ask me now because my voice is really scratchy. The millennials in this story realize that they need each other more than things, and that a world based on consumerism is not working but is actually destroying them. They embrace simplicity and sharing as a way to combat climate change and destruction of the natural world. They also start building strong, lasting relationships of cooperation, not just convenience, asking, to paraphrase John F. Kennedy, not what they can do for themselves, but what they can do for each other. They talk to people that look different than the people they enjoy socializing with. They reject worn-out, progressive, and conservative talking points and start to think creatively. They learn to share ideas and also their property. They volunteer in record numbers, both locally and internationally, and let those experiences shape the course of their lives, not their college degrees or credentials. They make people feel better just being around them. And also, they stop taking selfies. I know people who are doing this already. And I believe that the political and economic uncertainty we're experiencing right now might turn out for the best if it forces more of us away from the old world and onto something new. I hope you like my story, and let's make it real. So give me a like, give me a share, and please subscribe.